Hello everyone, I'm a film major who never watches any films, so I've made it my mission to watch a new film every single day and then just get out my quick thoughts about it. So today I watched The Handmaiden on Amazon Prime. I remember everybody talking about this film when it came out. Foreign films that make it overseas usually are pretty spectacular. If you're hearing a buzz about it here in America, then it's usually pretty good. I didn't check who the director was. I don't know anything about that. But I just know that it made lots of people's best of list the year it came out, and I think it won some awards, but I'm not really 100% sure. But I'm finally getting around to watching it now, and just content warning for, both this film and some of the topics that might come up a little bit in this review is going to be suicide and sexual assault. Those are at least briefly mentioned in the film, and I don't know if I'll actually touch on them at all in this video, but I just figured just in case those topics do come up. Anyways, this is a really interesting film. It's basically the story of this woman who grew up as a thief, and she kind of works in this wealthy woman's house as her handmaiden. So she does a lot of things for her. She takes care of her. She makes sure she doesn't get lonely in more ways than one, as you learn as you watch the film. Just a housemaid for this super wealthy person. Her goal is to, steal from this wealthy person, and there's a big long plot all about that. And but that's not really the focus of the film. It's really interesting because I feel like the focus of the film is not actually the story that's being told, but some of the ideas that reach beyond that. And I guess that's probably what most films are, but I think this one tackled a really interesting topic, and that is specifically like I feel like when I watch it, the themes that stood out to me the most were themes of like the male gaze versus the feminine gaze, and like fetishization of like lesbians. There's a lot of twists and turns in this film, and a lot of this film, it can feel slow at times, but it's really just kind of snowballing and just kind of showing you a progression of the relationship between these two women. The male gaze is what people refer to when it's like showing women's bodies or men's bodies, huge ripped guys with big burly arms and a six-pack, that would appeal to the male gaze, more visual, whereas the feminine gaze in film is more like sensitive things, elbow rubs, hand holding, brushing of the hair, small little gentle things that show a relationship building and the importance that these two characters have with each other. And I feel like that's what happens with the two main female leads, is that throughout the whole of Act 1 especially, you see a lot of these soft, small, tender moments that kind of show that what these two women have together are very precious. Even if they're both kind of lying to each other, and you learn that more as you watch the film. But what they have together is real, and it's precious, and you see it through these little moments and these little glimpses. And I really just feel like this movie is like the feminine gaze, like put in a film. Like if you want a good explanation of what the female gaze is, it's the progression of this film. Not to say that there wouldn't be things in this film that would appeal to like the male gaze, like naked women having sex with each other, whatever. But that only comes after so many of these soft, tender moments, and it's not for any male, it's not for any performative anything. It's just the progression of these soft, small, tender moments in the relationship, and it builds up to builds up to a climax that's beautiful, and I think that's kind of like a big point of the film, because later on, we learn about these this like male club, like a boys club that is hosted, where the wealthy woman has to read all these sexual stories to appeal to these men, and lots of it has to do with like lesbians, and there's pictures of like women being together and stuff, and it's all for male pleasure and the male gaze. And I feel like this whole film is just fighting against that. Like, these women can be who they are outside of men, outside of what men think for them, outside of what men could do for them, outside of what men want to do for them, and that comes up later as well. So yeah, just that theme is fantastic. I'm not trying to like just hone in super on like the lesbian part of it, but that is a big part of the film, and I feel like when I was watching it, it felt a little slow at first, but as the end of Act 2 started near and entered into like Act 3, I feel like that was just like so prominent, because you see these soft little moments between the two women, and then anytime it's like a woman and a man, it kind of goes for those same shots, where it like zooms in on like a hand touch or like a shoulder grab, and it's supposed to be this soft, gentle thing that shows their connection, but when it's the man and the woman, it's aggressive, it's rough, it's harsh, and it just shows that these two people don't have any connection at all, and that's what they say. They say, obviously, woman's very attractive, but he only wants her for her money, and maybe a night or two with her. So it's it really just goes to show. It really, I guess, I don't want to use the big fancy words, but it really just shows the contrast, the juxtaposition between like that softer, like feminine gaze and like the male gaze, where it uses both. I guess it shows, it shows like the roughness and the smoothness in both ways, I guess. So it's pretty interesting. Hopefully that made sense. If not, yada yada. We'll keep going. There's obviously some differences between like Korean and Japanese culture. But I don't think that comes up very often. I guess it does a little bit, and that's interesting. I really like how they use different color for the different languages. I feel like more movies should do that more often. That was really interesting, because like sometimes they would like start a sentence in Japanese and end it in Korean, and so it would start as white and then end as yellow text. So that was neat. That was just a nice like visual way to tell the difference. But yeah, I guess I didn't really talk about the story at all, because I don't really feel like the story is that important. There's obviously twists and turns, but it's really just seeing the relationship build between these two women, and how they come to learn about each other and how they interact and fall in love is just a beautiful thing. And I can see why so many people appreciate it so much. There was not a moment in the film that like I didn't like a scene where I felt the lighting was weird, where I was confused what was happening or why things were going the way they were. It felt slow at first, but by the time Act 2 came around, it all made sense. So yeah, I'm really happy with this film. I'd give it probably a 9 out of 10. And it's on Amazon Prime, so pretty much everyone has it. So if you feel like you can sit through a 2.5-hour foreign film, and you're interested about the female gaze versus the masculine gaze, I would say go right ahead and do that.